What it do, Durag Nation? I'm finally allowed to talk about Jubilee and reveal exactly what her abilities do. And I have great news for Strategist mains. She is a disgustingly broken hero that will be an S-tier healer you need on your team day one of the new season. She is Gambit, Cloak Dagger, Phoenix, and Invisible Woman all in one character. So as usual, I'll quickly break down her full kit and give you tips on the best way to play her using the footage from the new Egyptian map. First, Hawk smash that hype button to share the guide and let's get it.
Life energy, yeah!
Like all the best heroes in the Strategist role, Jubilee has 275 HP. Her primary fire sends a steady stream of fireworks that move like a machine gun wherever your crosshair is pointing, dealing damage to enemies and healing allies. It's not auto-aim, but similar to White Fox and Sue, it will be very hard to not hit your targets. Because she fires so fast, she has an ammo count of 48. But this is where things start getting crazy. Her right click summons a giant orb that heals anyone inside, like Dagger's bubble, but it's better. It's much larger and any enemy inside takes continuous damage. And if Jubilee hits the orb or anyone near it, it grows in size and the amount of healing it does increases too. She can also manually recall it, and she has 2 charges of the orb with a 1-second cooldown before you can use another charge. Depending on the raw numbers in the final update, this is going to be insanely overpowered. Speaking of Cloak Dagger, she has another one of their abilities. Here, Jubilee uses her E ability, which launches an orb that explodes, dealing damage to any enemy in the area and hitting them with a blinding effect. You can also transfer that energy to an ally to give them a healing boost from all sources and increase speed. But it gets better. Jubilee's E triggers her passive, which is basically like a better version of what Phoenix can do. When the E detonates, it marks whoever gets hit by it. If you use her primary fire on a marked target, they explode and apply burst damage and vulnerability to enemies, plus a healing boost and bonus health to allies. But there is even more. Triggering the passive also allows her to temporarily shoot faster and not consume any ammo. You can trigger your E every 12 seconds, so this is going to make Jubilee and Cloak Dagger backlines extremely hard to deal with, especially if you're a tank. They both can keep hitting you with vulnerability, so you take more damage from all sources. And in case you're wondering, yes, Jubilee has a movement skill for anti-dive.
Let the sparks fly! Wow, you suck! Tick, tick, boom!
By holding shift, she gets a large boost in movement speed and jump height like Captain America, but instead of sprinting, she's flying. Her ability is also temporary and tied to this energy meter. While it's active, Jubilee can shoot her primary fire without consuming any ammo, and when it ends, a blinding explosion is triggered, dealing area damage and putting the ability on a very short 4-second cooldown. We can see how useful it is when you're being dove, but it's also extremely powerful when you combo it by putting a bubble on your team and the enemy, setting off your E, and then rapid firing without consuming ammo by using shift, plus triggering the passive to apply vulnerability. Next, we have to talk about her ultimate.
Time for a blow up!
At first glance, it mostly seems like a normal healing circle ultimate, but it's not. Jubilee fires a cluster of fireworks that launch nearby enemies backwards, as you saw, far enough to knock them off a ledge. The fireworks then orbit around Jubilee, creating a large healing circle for herself and allies. But like the Cloak Dagger ultimate, it also damages any enemy inside it. But that's not all. You can expand the radius to knock up enemies hit by it, and the fireworks from her ultimate trigger the passive. That's right, when you pop the ultimate, you mark the enemies, and when you detonate them, they get hit with the vulnerability status effect and more burst damage, while your team gets more healing. Look at this potential burst combo. Use right click to drop a bubble on the enemies in your team, dealing damage and healing. Then you mark them and apply burst damage with E, shoot them, alt to mark them again, and shift so you can keep firing without consuming ammo. Like Gambit and White Fox, Jubilee is another character that is designed to do more than just sit in the back and heal. If you're doing that, you're honestly throwing. Jubilee rewards strategist mains who like to make plays for their team instead of relying on the DPS to get eliminations, which often they struggle with in this community. community. Based on these damage numbers and her movement, Jubilee might even be able to dive enemy supports like Luna Snow, then quickly escape using her shift. Jubilee's kit seems largely built around buffing and debuffing, as well as the concept of caging, where you trap enemies inside of a strong ability. Being able to consistently apply vulnerability is very powerful, so make sure you signal this to your team so it can focus fire on the enemies affected by it to get quick eliminations. Jubilee also seems to have pretty great range on her abilities, so be careful that you play near cover and avoid melee range. I see a lot of supports playing too close to their tanks and sometimes directly in front of them. Never do that. Also, don't forget to use Jubilee's ultimate in overtime situations when an enemy needs to touch point or stay on a convoy, because you can just move them off of it and win the game. With all the updates that were just announced, this could be the biggest season in the history of Marvel Rivals. With the new format, there's also tons of stuff you may have missed. Well, I broke down the season 9 reveal, which is filled with exciting teases of upcoming content. Click the video on screen to learn more. And a huge shout out to everyone supporting me on Patreon. Join for free so you never miss an update.